Over 150 years ago, a small cotton trader had a dream, and it wasn't just about building a business. It was about helping to build an entire nation. That one dream would eventually grow into this sprawling empire, and its story would become completely tangled up with the story of India itself.
So how does that even happen? How does a company go from just trading cotton to literally laying the foundations of a country's industry, its technology, and even its identity? Well, let's dive into the incredible history of the Tata Group, a company that did exactly that.
All right, so our story kicks off way back in 1858 with a young man named Jamsetji Tata. He was in his father's cotton trading business, and yeah, it was doing well, but Jamsetji, he wasn't satisfied. He didn't just want to trade cotton, he had bigger plans. He wanted to make it himself. So in 1877, he goes and sets up the Empress Mill. But he hits a wall almost immediately. It was a common problem back then. His workforce just wasn't motivated. The conditions were tough, and nearly 20% of his workers just weren't showing up on any given day. Productivity was taking a nosedive, and he had to do something about it fast.
And what he did next? Well, it was absolutely extraordinary. Instead of just cracking the whip, he introduced benefits that were pretty much unheard of anywhere in the world. He started a pension fund, gave his workers medical insurance, and even organized family and sports days to boost morale. To give you some perspective, a lot of these ideas wouldn't even show up in the West for decades.
But for Jamsetji, this was never just about one mill. He had this much bigger vision. He truly believes that for India to be really and truly free, it had to be economically self-sufficient. It couldn't be relying on other countries for all the important stuff. It had to make those things itself.
And boy, did he put that idea into action. He started this incredible range of businesses. I mean, we're talking about strawberry farming, introducing new silkworms to create the famous Mysore silk. And then he builds the iconic Taj Mahal Hotel in Bombay, which, fun fact, was the very first building in the city to have electricity. Now, all of these projects were part of that bigger purpose. But his biggest, most ambitious dream of all was steel. He knew that steel was the backbone of any modern industry. You need it for construction, for railways, for pretty much everything. He spent 17 years searching for high-quality iron ore, but so sadly, he passed away in 1904, just before he could see that dream become a reality. After Jamsetji's passing, you might wonder, what happens now? Well, the huge task of finishing his vision fell to his son, Dorabji Tata. And he wasn't just there to maintain a legacy, he was there to build on its very foundations. And Dorabji just systematically started bringing his father's biggest plans to life. In 1909, he established the Indian Institute of Sciences for top-notch research. In 1911, he created Tata Power. And then finally, in 1912, the very first steel ingot was produced at Tata Steel. The dream was real. Then, in 1938, the torch was passed again, this time to another visionary, JRD Tata. And this guy, he had a different kind of dream, one that was up in the skies. He was completely obsessed with aviation. In 1932, he launched Tata Aviation Services, and get this, he personally flew its first flight, becoming India's very first commercial pilot. How amazing is that? After World War II, he relaunched the airline as the iconic Air India, and it just blew up, becoming this global symbol of excellence. It was famous for its Maharaja mascot, its super luxurious service, and for always being on time. For JRD, Air India wasn't just a business. He really treated it like it was his own child. But then, in 1953, the Indian government nationalized the airline. They just took it over from Tata. And what followed was, honestly, just a tragic decline. All those world-class standards of service, safety, and punctuality that JRD had so carefully built just started to crumble under government control. Despite that huge setback, JRD kept on innovating. He started Tata Chemicals to make everyday essentials like salt. He launched Lakme Cosmetics, and this was so clever. He used a French name because he knew that's what Indian women aspired to. And he turned a locomotive company into Telco, which we now know as Tata Motors, and it went on to capture 70% of the truck market. Okay, let's fast forward to 1991. The group needed a new kind of leader for a new era in India, and that leader was Ratan Tata. Now, this guy didn't just walk into the corner office. He'd started out as a regular worker at Tata Steel, and now he was facing the challenge of his life, bringing this massive legacy group into the 21st century. He saw right away that the group was lagging in technology. So he took a look at Tata Consultancy Services, or TCS, which was mostly doing basic data entry, and he completely transformed its focus. He shifted it to software services, took it public, and turned it into the global IT powerhouse it is today. But just like the Tatas before him, Ratan Tata also had a powerful social dream. He'd see entire families, a mom, a dad, 2 kids, all balanced on a single scooter. and he wanted to give them a safer, more affordable way to get around. He wanted to build a true people's car. So to make this happen, he made this absolutely audacious promise to the nation. He said he would launch a car for just 1 lakh rupees. That was about $2,500 at the time. I mean, it was a price point nobody had ever heard of. And in 2009, he delivered on that promise with the Tata Nano.
But here's the crazy thing. The Nano failed. And the reason why is this fascinating lesson in marketing. You see, in India, a car is a huge status symbol. So that tag, the world's cheapest car, which was supposed to be its greatest strength, actually became its biggest weakness. People felt embarrassed to own it, not proud. But Ratan Tata's vision was also global. He was dead set on proving that an Indian company could compete on the world stage. So he started acquiring these iconic international brands. We're talking Jaguar Land Rover for Tata Motors, the British brand Tetley for Tata Tea, and the US brand 8 O'Clock Coffee. Today, more than half of the Tata Group's entire revenue comes from outside of India. So, when you look back at the whole story, 150 years, 4 generations of leaders, one thing becomes crystal clear. There's a single, powerful philosophy that has guided this entire incredible journey.
And this guiding idea is captured perfectly in their famous saying. You see, the Tata way has never been just about making a profit. It's always been about taking everyone along for the ride, employees, customers, and the country itself. And that's why they built not just companies, but also schools, hospitals, and research institutes.
You know, the story of the Tata Group really makes you ask a bigger question. What should be the ultimate goal of a business? Is it just about creating value for shareholders, or is it about creating something more lasting? The Tata legacy seems to suggest that maybe, just maybe, the greatest success isn't just what a business builds, but who it builds up along the way.